Welcome, dear friend. Tonight we step away from the world. We step back in time to an age of silence and stillness, to a stone monastery nestled in the English countryside, to a life marked not by rush or noise, but by sacred rhythm and humble purpose. This is a day in the life of a medieval monk, a peaceful story to guide you gently into rest and carry you softly through the night. Before we begin, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It supports the creation of more relaxing journeys like this and ensures you're always just a breath away from peace. Now take a deep, slow breath in. Let it go. Let your body soften. Let your thoughts float. And let the stillness begin. The sky is still dark. The stars hang in the velvet silence of the early morning, blinking above the thick woods and the rolling hills of northern England. It is the 12th century, a time before electricity, before cars, before the rush of modern noise. The world is slow, the land is quiet. And nestled in the arms of this quiet land stands a monastery built of heavy stone, surrounded by gardens and pastures, its rooftops silvered with dew. The bell tower rises gently against the dim sky. Its silhouette, worn by centuries of wind and rain, watches over the cloister like an old, kind guardian. Inside the thick walls, silence sleeps. In a small, bare room no more than a cell, Brother Anselm lies curled on a narrow wooden cot. The blanket is coarse but warm. The room is simple. A bed, a stool, a clay basin, and a wooden cross nailed above the door. There is no clock, no alarm. Only the soft whisper of the wind through the narrow window slit. And then a bell. Low and round, its sound carries through the cloister, through the garden, over the stone halls and the sleeping corridors. It tolls not as command, but invitation. Not urgent, but gentle. Anselm opens his eyes. He does not hurry. He has lived by the bell for many years. He knows its rhythm. It is not a tyrant. It is a companion. He rises slowly, stretching his limbs beneath the wool robe hanging from the bedpost. He washes his face with cold water from the basin. The water is crisp. It wakes him with reverence. Outside, the stars fade, and a faint light glows on the edge of the sky, a promise of dawn. The monks move through the cloister in silence. Bare feet in leather sandals shuffle over stone. There is no need for speech. No one greets. No one rushes. The silence is comfortable, a shared devotion. The chapel glows ahead, lit only by candlelight. A few stained glass windows are just beginning to catch the first hints of pale blue in the sky. Inside, the monks take their places on wooden choir stalls, carved long ago by hands now buried in the graveyard beyond the orchard. Brother Anselm lowers his head. He feels the cool air of the chapel settle into his bones like a blanket. Then the first sound, a note, a chant. Matins has begun. The voices are low and slow, flowing together like water, like wind, like the breath of the earth. Psalms are chanted in Latin, not for show, not for speed, just as devotion, as meditation, as a way to wake not just the body, but the soul. Domine labia mea aperis. O Lord, open my lips. The sound rises and falls. There are no instruments, only the voices of men who have given their lives to quiet service. Time becomes soft here, stretching, folding. As matins flows into lauds, the sky outside brightens, the air shifts, a new warmth brushes against the stone. Lauds is a prayer of praise, a welcome to the morning. The candles still flicker, but the light from the rising sun begins to reach through the colored glass, painting the floor in red and gold and blue. Birdsong begins outside the chapel walls, a gentle echo of the monk's chant. nature joining the prayer. The voices grow slightly stronger now, more awake, but still they carry no urgency. They are not hurrying the day into motion. They are greeting it slowly with reverence and care. As the final psalm is sung, the monks rise from the benches. Robes rustle softly, a bow of the head, and then they file out one by one into the light. The day has begun. But it is not a day like most. It is a day of quiet rhythm, of sacred time, of deep peace. The refectory is long and narrow, with wooden tables set in rows. The walls are bare stone. Light spills in from the eastern windows. The monks sit in their places, no talking, no clattering, only the quiet sound of spoons and bowls. A brother stands at a lectern and reads aloud from a passage of scripture while the others eat. The food is simple. A bowl of oats, warm and thick. A hunk of bread, dark and seeded. A small dish of honey. A mug of goat's milk or watered wine. Each bite is taken slowly. Each swallow is an act of mindfulness. The food is not hurried through. It is honored, appreciated. As the reading ends, the meal ends. Bowls are cleared. Thanks is given. And the monks rise to their feet. The sun is higher now. The courtyard glows with morning gold. Dew melts from the vines on the wall. Chickens peck at the corners. A cat dozes near the well. The monks go to their appointed tasks. Some to the gardens where herbs are gathered, mint, thyme, lavender, hands moving through green. Some to the bakery where flour is sifted and loaves are shaped in silence. Others to the scriptorium where ink is mixed and words are written one by one in precise and prayerful calligraphy. Brother Anselm walks toward the garden, basket on his hip. He kneels in the soil, pulling weeds, checking roots, whispering to the plants as he tends them. The wind moves gently through the orchard beyond the wall. Time slows further. There is no rush here. Labor is not separate from prayer, it is prayer. And prayer is not only in words, it is in breath, in work, in silence, in the rising sun and the turning soil. The sun now rests at its zenith, casting long lines of warm gold across the cloister. In the distance, sheep graze in a quiet field, and the hum of summer bees fills the monastery garden like a soft hymn. Inside the scriptorium, the brothers have set down their quills. The sound of ink scratching on parchment fades. The bell tolls once more. Its slow, echoing rhythm calls every monk from field, from kitchen, from script to pause, to return, to breathe. The Angelus, a prayer of midday gratitude, a reminder that the world turns not on their labor, but on grace. In the cloister walkways, the brothers gather beneath the stone arches, their robes brushed by ivy and shaded by high vaulted beams. They form a quiet ring and bow their heads. There are no sermons, no noise, just the whispered verses of the Angelus spoken gently by the prior. The angel of the Lord declared on Mary. And the voices respond in hushed harmony. And she conceived by the Holy Spirit. Each word lands with care, like seeds planted in silence. After prayer, Brother Anselm walks slowly back to the scriptorium. The halls are cool now. Sunlight filters through tall windows, catching motes of dust that dance in the quiet air. Footsteps echo softly as monks return to their desks. The scriptorium smells of parchment and wax, ink and lavender oil. Each desk holds a manuscript in progress. Each brother bends over his work with reverence, as if touching something eternal. Brother Anselm's station is by the east window, where the light is best in the afternoon. His manuscript is a psalter pages, and pages of sacred verses, each one inked by hand. He dips his quill in the inkwell, draws a breath, and begins again. Letter by letter, stroke by stroke. The pen moves with grace. Every motion is slow, deliberate. The pressure of the tip, the flow of the ink, the care taken not to smudge a single mark. Around him, the room is still. No one speaks. Only the soft scratch of quills, the occasional turn of a page, and the distant birdsong outside. Brother Anselm pauses now and then, rubbing his hand, stretching his fingers. Then he begins to illuminate the page, not just with words, but with color. He takes a fine brush and dips it in blue made from crushed lapis lazuli. He paints a tiny petal at the corner of the page, a vine, a gold leaf halo around a saint's head. This too is prayer. This too is sacred. The bell tolls once again. Another gentle wave through the cloister. The brothers rise from their work, quietly, respectfully. They set their tools aside, close their manuscripts, cover their inks. It is time to eat. The refectory is cooler now, shaded by the tall monastery walls. The smell of herbs and stew drifts from the kitchen hearth. The meal is simple. Lentils boiled with carrots, a piece of cheese, a handful of blackberries from the garden, water from the well served in wooden cups. Again, there is no talking. A brother stands at the lectern and reads from the Rule of Saint Benedict, slow and steady as the others eat. Let all guests who arrive be received as Christ. Prefer nothing to the love of God. The words settle into the soul like food into the body. When the meal is finished, the monks stand, bow, offer silent thanks, and file out once more into the warm afternoon. The sun now leans westward. The shadows stretch longer. The work continues, but more slowly now, the heat of the day softening every movement, every breath. Brother Anselm carries a woven basket to the herb garden. He kneels beside the thyme and lavender, gently pinches stems, checks for rot, pulls weeds with practiced ease. The air is rich with scent. Lavender, basil, the resin of pine, the soft musk of soil warmed by sun. A gentle breeze stirs his robe as he moves. Behind him, the stone walls are quiet. A bird flutters from the fig tree and lands on the fountain's edge. Water flows in a steady trickle from a lion's mouth carved into the stone. He takes a seat near the well, placing the basket beside him. He closes his eyes, and for a moment, there is nothing. No labor, no chant, no voice, no thought. Only the warm wind and the weight of sunlight on stone. In the late afternoon, some brothers walk, not with purpose, not to arrive, but simply to be. Brother Anselm walks the perimeter path just inside the monastery walls. It winds through old orchards, past beehives and stone benches, where moss has begun to grow. The apples are beginning to ripen. The bees are slow, lazy from the heat. His sandals make no sound on the earth. Each step is mindful, each breath deep. He stops at a wooden gate and gazes beyond the walls to the hills, low, green, quiet. The world out there moves differently. But here, time folds. Here, everything is slower. A few brothers pass by, nodding with slight bows. No words exchanged, none needed. In silence, they walk the path. The bell rings again, low, deep, echoing across the stone. It is vespers, the prayer at the setting of the sun. In the chapel, candles are lit. Shadows stretch long across the floor. The monks take their places once more. The windows now glow with orange and red, the last breath of daylight coloring the air. Vespers begins in chant. Slow, soothing, a little lower than morning prayer, as if even the voice is preparing for rest. Let my prayer rise before you like incense. Brother Anselm's voice joins the others. There is comfort here, not in words, but in repetition, in the return, in the rhythm, in the predictability of peace. After prayer, the evening meal is served. A broth made from leeks and barley, a crust of bread, a small clay dish of honeycomb, chamomile tea, warm and calming. The brothers eat in silence. Candlelight flickers across the stone walls. When the meal ends, the bowls are cleaned. The candles are carried to the chapel once more. Compline begins. The final prayer of the day. The voices are soft now. The chant slow like a lullaby. Into your hands, O Lord, I commend my spirit. Guide us waking, O Lord, and guard us sleeping. The candles are snuffed one by one. The chapel fades into darkness. The brothers bow, and the great silence begins. From now until morning, no one will speak. Only breath, only dreams. Brother Anselm walks the corridor to his chamber. The hall is dimly lit. The stones warm underfoot. He enters his cell. The air is cool now. The night wind moves gently through the high slit window. He removes his robe, folds it neatly, lights a candle for a moment as he kneels, whispers a final prayer in more breath than a word, then extinguishes the flame. He lies on his cot. Outside, the moon begins to rise. Owls call softly from the woods. A breeze rustles the garden herbs. Sleep arrives slowly, but fully. He lets go of the day, and the night holds him. In the stillness of night, the monastery sleeps. The chapel is dark now, save for one small votive candle flickering before the altar, its flame swaying gently in the quiet draft of the stone walls. Outside, moonlight glides across the cloister garden, painting silver over every herb and flower. The lavender nods gently in the breeze. The thyme rustles softly like an old song. Brother Anselm lies awake. Not restless, not anxious, just still. Some nights he rises for vigils, the night office. A quiet return to the chapel, long before dawn. Tonight is such a night. He slipped from his cot, careful not to stir the silence. The hallways are empty. Shadows stretch like ribbons over the flagstones. He walks by memory, not sight. The chapel door creaks open softly. Inside, a few brothers are already there, seated in silence, waiting for the chant to begin. And so it does. Low whispered, like breath turned to song. Vigils is not for many. Only a few rise for this office, but those who do feel the weight of sacred night. There is something different about prayer at this hour. Something eternal. There is a term the monks use, sacrum tempus, sacred time. Time that is not counted in hours, but in intention. You are no longer in the day, nor yet in the morning. You are between. In the thin space where God seems closer, the monks chant in the darkness. Their voices blend with the wind outside, with the soft creak of old wood. The faint hush of their robes brushing against the benches. And slowly, one by one, the chants give way to silence. The flame on the altar flickers, then steadies. The brothers bow and leave once more in silence. Brother Anselm returns to his cell. He leaves his sandals by the door, climbs into bed. The stone beneath the floor still holds a hint of warmth from the day, but the air is crisp, scented with the cool perfume of ivy and old stone. He lays back, folds his hands over his chest. His breath deepens. The rhythm of the day lives in his body. He does not resist sleep. He falls into it, like water returning to the earth. And now the story begins to blur. The edges of time soften. You are no longer walking, you are floating. No longer listening, but remembering. You dream as Brother Anselm dreams, of gardens and parchment and flickering candlelight, of slow chant echoing down arched stone halls, of bees moving between lavender and rosemary, of sunlight falling through stained glass, of warm soup served in silence, of hands in the soil planting time, of ink and quill forming sacred letters. You dream of stillness, of peace, of rhythm. Over and over again, the cycle returns. Prayer, work, rest, silence. Prayer, work, rest, silence. There's no need to move forward, only to sink deeper. Now the story becomes breath. Each moment melts into the next, like candle wax. No events, no surprises, only gentle repetition. Like footsteps along a cloister. You are safe here. The walls are thick, the gardens rich, the air cool, the rhythm unbroken. The world cannot reach you here. There is only the quiet shuffle of sandals, the soft turning of pages, the rustle of robes, the flicker of flame, the smell of honey and ink and old wood, the bell ringing in the distance. Not to hurry, and not to alarm, but to guide. You walk the garden again. You sit by the river. You kneel in the chapel. You return to bed. Over and over you return. This is the life of a monk. This is the life of rest. The sun rises again. But you are not jolted awake. You move gently, as if already within the rhythm. The bell tolls. You rise. You pray. You eat. You work. You study. You walk. You rest. And as the sun sets, you chant again. You speak no unnecessary word. You smile at the garden. You light a candle. You close your eyes. The next day, the same. The comfort is not in change, but in constancy. You are not lost. You are found in the repeating pattern. Now the monastery dissolves around you, not vanishing, but becoming internal. You walk its stone halls, not with feet, but in memory. You carry its rhythm in your breath. You no longer need to see the herbs, to smell the bread, to feel the parchment. They are within you. The quiet is your own. The candlelight is behind your eyes. The chants echo inside your chest. The world is gone, and you are deeply home. The bell tolls one last time, not to wake, not to call, but to bless. Its sound drifts through the garden, through the chapel, through the scriptorium, over the fig trees and past the river, up the towers and into the hills. And then, silence. Perfect, blessed silence. You are asleep now. Held, carried, no longer thinking, no longer listening, just being. The monastery sleeps, you sleep, and in that sacred silence you remain.